Are you ready? Uko tayari? Muko tayari? Thank you. Dear Kenyans, you are all aware of the political developments in our country. We are standing at a point of economic, political, and social nosedive as a nation. As a country, we, the people of Kenya, are being treated by William Ruto as less Kenyans at any given moment. Driven by the resolve for a better Kenya and patriotism, I've heard a call from the people of Kenya to speak into the matters that are of concern to them and all of us for our common good. On the 7th of July 2025, during the 35th anniversary of Sabasaba, Kenyans from all walks of life led by Gen Zs, unarmed and peaceful, went to the streets. This is not the first demonstration that has happened in Kenya this year where lives have been lost and property destroyed. Unbeknown to these peaceful demonstrators, the tired regime of Ruto had a well-organized state-sponsored militia in cohort with the police and other state security agencies to maim, kill and destroy property and blame it on the Kikuyu community and specific leaders who are perceived unfriendly to this killer regime. This targeted profiling of the Kikuyu community and of their specific business is an economic sabotage not new to the narrative of William Ruto. On the fative day, this state-sponsored militia, under instructions and guidance from the police, were dropped in different places in the country, and mostly in the Mount Kenya region and other regions not perceived friendly to the government. They were strategically dropped past midnight, and then roadblocks were placed by the police while others was dropped early in the morning. The militia were procured by Ruto. Governors and MPs allied to him. These regions included Nairobi, Kiambu, Kajiado, Kisii, Nyeri, Murang'a, Kiambu, Kirinyaga, Meru, Nyandarua, Kajiado, Kitengela, Ongata-Rongai, Machakos, Embu, and in Wote. They had clear instructions to loot and destroy specific properties under police supervision. A killer squad of 101 that works under the Director General of the National Intelligence Service, Nuruddin Haji, was armed with assault rifles and drove in a convoy of unmarked Subarus, shooting and killing innocent protesters aimlessly in the streets and estates. This squad in Subarus, hooded and masked against court orders, are disguising themselves as DCI's officers, yet we know they are not. In fact, I would like to clarify that the National Intelligence Service has procured Subarus to give an impression that this killer gang is from the DCI. The truth of the matter is that this has nothing to do with the DCI. This is the National Intelligence Service. And this squad of 101 people was formed when I was still in government. Officers were recruited from the Administration Police Unit for special training by NIS on abductions, killings, and cover-up. And this is a squad that is killing the people of Kenya. The killings and the business destruction pattern point to William Ruto's ethnic profiling narrative, which he is a master with no rival. With a close coordination of PS Interior Raymond Omolo, this narrative was boosted online by state bloggers to spin a narrative. The Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen's public to shoot to kill order, coupled with assurances to police officers that the government will not cooperate with the investigators in police conduct, has emboldened security forces. Police officers are now on record threatening citizens who are in their homes, boasting of their license to kill, acting with a confidence that can only come from the highest echelons of power. Mr. Mukomen's admission that these are not just instructions from him but orders from above removes any ambiguity about where responsibility lies. It will be recalled that in the run-up to the 2007 general election and its aftermath, the narrative of 41 against 1 was a masterpiece of William Ruto. The target was profiling Kikuyus against the rest of the country. To a large extent, he succeeded, and every Kenyan knows what happened, and it is also fresh in his mind of the ICC ordeal still hanging on the neck of William Ruto today. We remind William Ruto that his ICC cases are not yet over. They have been posed after witnesses disappeared, and what he is pretending over are crimes under the Rome Statute. It is clear history is repeating itself, and the architect William Ruto is back on the deck. He is hell-bent to finish his unfinished business with the people of Mount Kenya, destroy their businesses, and make them black sheep of Kenya. Despite this horrible experience, the people of Mount Kenya voted William Ruto to a man in 2022 general elections against the advice of President Uhuru Kenyatta, whom Mr. Ruto had branded as a drunkard and a useless leader. Today, the people of Kenya, and especially the Mount Kenya region, feel sorry that they did not heed to the advice of Uhuru Kenyatta. These state-sponsored militia were key in touching of various parts of the country with ease of police assistance to prefer terrorism charges on specific people from the Mount Kenya region. So far, about 50 young people are in courts in trumped-up charges of terrorism in scenarios of state-managed crimes by the state. Again, this is a clear onslaught on the Kikuyu nation. A case in point, when a police station in Mawego in Homa Bay County was torched, the suspects for that particular crime have been charged with arson. But when a police station is alleged to have been torched in Kiambu, suspects from the Kikuyu nation are charged with terrorism charges. This is serious ethnic profiling. Last night, in Juja and Kirinyaga, these state-sponsored militia invaded various businesses. Luckily, in Kirinyaga, after Wananchi went to Sagana police station and they refused to act, saying they had orders from above not to interfere, the people organized themselves and repulsed the militia. Mr. Ruto's ethnic profiling has led to the destruction of the foreign properties belonging to the people of Mount Kenya. Maguna supermarkets in Meru, Kahawa West, and Murang'a. Nice supermarkets, hotel and petrol station, and nice city in Mwea in Kirinyaga. County supermarkets in Kabati and Kirinyaga. Power Star supermarkets, Quick Mart supermarkets in Eastern Bypass, Shell and Total Mini markets in Roiro, Chill Post Hotel in Gong, Boju Shop in Keserian, Homegrown Supermarket, among others, and the Family Bank in Kahawa and Roiro. Notably, in Meru, these state-sponsored militia tried to attack Meru Dairy Processing Plant and were repulsed by workers. In Nyeri, they further tried to attack Wakulima Dairy in Mukurweini, and the attack failed. We urge our businesses to heighten security surveillance on their business premises and production lines, especially the KTDA, coffee factories, milk processing factories, among others. We take note that in Meru, on Sunday the 6th of July, at an event attended by CS Kipchumba Murkomen, the MP for Bori, Mugambi Redikire, indicated that a supermarket would be attacked the following day. As sure as December 25 is Christmas, and true to his word, Maguna supermarket was torched by the state-sponsored militia, which the MP was privy to. Why hasn't Mugambi Redikire been arrested? How did he know that a supermarket would be attacked? This is selective justice. The evidence that these militias are state-sponsored is plain for all to see. Videos circulating widely show police officers not merely failing to intervene, but actively transporting armed groups who proceed to unleash destruction with apparent impunity. Uniformed officers have been seen standing guard as these groups rampage. They are in action and a stark contrast to strong statements being made by government. In Nyeri, journalists were attacked by these militias in the presence of the police. It is well documented. This is a clear indicator that Ruto is working with governors and MPs allied to him to destroy businesses owned by the Kikuyu, the Meru, and the Embu, and blame it on people who don't support his administration. This is a tactic that was used by the colonialists with the collaborators who searched earth policy and torched buildings and businesses and blamed it on the Mau Mau. This divide and rule tactic will not work, Mr. Ruto. We know that in Meru, they want to use this mayhem to blame Mithika Linturi. In Embu, they have already blamed Mkunji Gitonga. In Kitengela, Iron Gong, they want to target Senator Seki and MP Onesmus Ngogoyo. In Nyeri, they are trying to haunt Honorable Kagusha. And in Kirinyaga, they are targeting Senator Murango. We want to remind President Ruto that it is not the Kikuyus who want him out of office. It is the entire people of Kenya. Kenyans are suffering equally across the country. That is why Kenyans have said, if you, Mr. William Ruto, believe that it is the Kikuyus who want you out, then all Kenyans are Kikuyus. I want to thank the people of Kenya for standing out against this tribal profiling of the Kikuyu. The people of Kenya yesterday did wonderful by saying that the Kikuyus should not be profiled. This morning, I've seen Ruto quivering and wailing in uncontrollable anger. Mr. Ruto, excessive anger is not a solution. I want, with a lot of humility, to advise you to stop being angry. That will not help. You need to know what you need to do because you have not been listening to the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya are more angry than you are. They are angry because you have overtaxed them. There is wanton corruption. There is abductions and extrajudicial killings. There is ethnic profiling and other ills that bedevil your administration. If you want to be calm, please abolish the housing levy and give dignity to the payslip. I have heard you saying that you cannot give jobs to the young people. Please restore the dignity of the payslip. Restore the capacity of the middle class. The middle class will give jobs to these young people. Stop killing and profiling the young people. Listen to them. Stop abductions and extrajudicial killings. Abolish, disband the killer squad of 101 officers at Danudin Haji. Give hustlers the jobs that you promised them. Mr. William Ruto, you are the one who promised. You cannot cry today that you have no solution, saying that other presidents have not been able to do it. You are the one who promised these young people. Stop police brutality. Stop abductions and illegal detentions. Get the hustlers from the bottom of the economic pyramid as you promised. Yes, Mr. President, we agree there were other presidents before you, as you have rightly stated. And true, they never went through what you are experiencing today. May it please you to know that the reason why Kenyans rarely had problems with them, Mwai Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta were guided by the Constitution and the rule of law. They did not capture our constitutional institutions to work for them, instead of working for Kenyans. They never killed children. They never attempted to build churches in State House. They never organized militias to destroy people's property and kill them. That is why you have a problem. And we also want to remind you that Mwai Kibaki had a difficult time from you, William Ruto. Videos are everywhere. You cannot say that Mwai Kibaki did not face resistance. It's on record that you gave hell to President Kenyatta for 5 years. So it is hypocritical for you to allege that Mwai Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta had a very easy time. Most of the problems Mwai Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta had came from yourself, and it's on record. We want to advise you that the one-term movement is not getting you out of power outside the Constitution. Mr. President, nobody wants to throw you. Nobody wants to overthrow your government. Nobody wants you out of power through unconstitutional means. Mr. President, I and the people we work with are on record. We want to remove you from State House through the ballot in 2027. This narrative you are creating that there is an attempt to overthrow your government is for you to have the opportunity to use the Terrorism Act to profile communities and to persecute leaders who are opposed to your administration. Please relax. We want you to serve your one term. Nobody wants you out of government, and constitutionally, nobody has any plan to overthrow your administration, Mr. President. We want to face you on the ballot in August 2027. So just relax and stop crying wolf that anybody wants you out of office unconstitutionally. There is no leader here who is planning a coup, and none has the capacity. And nobody is interested. The leaders in this country, and indeed 95% of the Kenyan population, want to humiliate you at the ballot. They will relish that moment. None of them would want you to go out through any other method, unless, of course, you decided to resign on your own volition. So please stop creating this narrative. This narrative is to enable you to use anti-terrorism law to persecute leaders and to persecute the Kikuyu community. If you speak out online, Mr. President, you want to use the Terrorism Act to harass people. If you dare challenge your administration, you want to use the Terrorism Act to deal with people who are opposed to your administration. My fellow Kenyans, let us not be deceived. William Ruto has stripped away even the pretense of democracy. What we are witnessing is not the rule of law, but the rule of fear. This is not the behavior of a government that serves its people. This is the machinery of outright dictatorship. Finally, I want to announce to the people of Kenya that tonight I will be traveling to the United States of America to talk to the Kenyans in diaspora and the international community about the state of the nation. I would have wanted to stay in the country at this very difficult time when our people are under siege, but I have engagements that I'm not able to postpone. I have been threatened by people close to William Ruto, who called some of my people today, that they will want to stop me from leaving the country. I have no problem. If you want to come and arrest me at the airport, as you are threatening us, you can go ahead. I don't have a problem. You cannot sell fear to us. You know, even if you sold us fear, we cannot buy. You know, and therefore, as I'm out of the country, unless I'm stopped from going, and if I'm stopped from going, I'm still okay. I'll be here because this is my country. We have made sufficient arrangements with other leaders in the united opposition to create a pool of lawyers to come in through for our young people who are being persecuted on trumped-up charges of terrorism. And I want to explain. I have heard the president saying that people have attacked police stations and the law courts. It was all stage managed by the MP for Kikuyu. How do you explain that people can walk into a police station and they are not armed and take over the police station from armed police officers? How do you go to the courts that are guarded by armed police officers and touch them? All these attacks of vital installations were stage managed by William Ruto through Kimani Ichung'wah to create the opportunity to prefer charges against people using the Anti-Terrorism Act. That is the reality. So nobody has attacked any police station. They were all stage managed by government. And what is happening is history is repeating itself. This is exactly what Moi did in the 80s against the Kikuyu community. After the abortive 1982 coup, he used sedition laws and the clandestine Mwa Kenya movement to profile the community and hold people into court, and they'll be taken by Bernard Chunga after 5 p.m. This is history repeating itself. I want to ask our people to be calm, to be cautious, and to be strong. I want to appeal to our young people, the Gen Zs. Looking at the scenario of what is happening and what William Ruto has planned, I want to ask my children, my sons and daughters, to consider applying the next onslaught against the President William Ruto by getting IDs and registering as voters so that they can deal with William Ruto on the ballot. Because I fear for them. Anytime they go out to the streets, they are killed like chicken. I would like to preserve to us these children. We would like to live with them. We would like to see them grow. And when we look at the desperation of William Ruto and the brutal force he is using against these children and the use of state militias to attack them, I would like to plead with them to consider, to join us, we in the opposition, by registering as voters. And in 2027, we'll be able to get rid of President William Ruto. William Ruto, finally, let me ask you a question. The Kikuyu nation, the Mount Kenya people, you call tribalists every day. These people you are waging war against, their businesses, are the same people who voted for you, even after what you did to them in 2007. They forgave you and considered you as a person they can elect as president. You have turned against the community. You are trying to mobilize other Kenyans to profile them and to fight them, but they have refused. These same people from Mount Kenya have the capacity to support somebody else. It must not be you. And they proved that they are not tribal by voting for you when you are Kalenjin. They can vote for a Kamba. They can vote for a Kisi. They can vote for a Luya. They can vote for a Maasai. That sense of entitlement that you are having to the Mount Kenya vote is misplaced. They voted for you, yes. You betrayed them. You turned against them. They don't have to vote for you again. Please stop persecuting them into submission. They will not submit to your brutality, to your vicious attack against them and their leaders. That I want to tell you for free today. I've listened to you talking with a lot of anger, calling them tribalists. They are not. How can they be tribalists when they voted for you and you are not one of them? But you don't have a sense of entitlement that they must vote for you. You know what you have done to them and why they have reacted the way they have. And I want to assure you, you cannot scare them into submission. Even if you jail them, they will not submit. These are seasoned descendants of the freedom fighters, and they cannot be intimidated. So let me encourage my leaders here as I go away to remain strong, to remain focused, and to speak for the people of Kenya. I am I have a lot of gratitude to the Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka and Eugene Wamalwa, who have been in court the whole of yesterday and today, standing strong and defending our young people who have been framed and charged with treason. For those two leaders, I want to give them the gratitude of my community and our leadership. They have come through for a community when it's under siege, and we are indeed very, very grateful. I want to ask our leaders here to be vigilant and to continue speaking out to the people of Kenya. Should the situation get out of hand and I need to cut my trip short and come back to join the other leaders in defending our people and speaking for them, I will gladly do so.
Good. That's comprehensive.
I don't think iko maswali hata kidogo. Labda ile wapi ya Kameme iko na